Hey, what's up everybody? I'm Jason with Upshifting Adventures. Hey, thanks for checking out this video. I appreciate it. Hey, so on today's episode of How to Do Stuff, we are going to be replacing these factory KTM flag style handguards with a set of super bitchin' HDB off-road handguards. So why are we doing that? Well, one, flag handguards suck. If you're gonna run flags, you're obviously gonna need to get a set of ASV or somebody similar aftermarket levers so that when you do inevitably fall down, you don't destroy them. But I was actually out in Slick Rock just a couple of weeks ago, went down on a portion of it and actually bent my clutch lever here, my ASV clutch lever. I mean, tacoed it, so I had to replace it with another lever. But you know, flags, they're just not all that great, right? So what I'm gonna be doing is installing a set of HDB off-road handguards, and I'm telling you, these things are the bomb. Not only are they the bomb, they are bomb-proof. So these HDB handguards are so overbuilt, it's ridiculous. I'm not kidding. Look at all the material on this handguard bracket. By contrast, here's the mounting bracket from the Cycra handguards that I just took off of my Husky 701 because it bent and the bolt broke on me. These guys are never going to bend on you, I promise you that. So HDB Off-Road provides you with everything you're gonna need to install these handguards on your bike. To include a 5/8 by 11 pitch tap that you're gonna run into the ends of your handlebars, because these handguards are screwed in to the end of your bars with this enormous bolt that goes through the end of the handguard here and into your handlebars. You are not going to break these handguards, I can promise you that. These are probably the toughest handguards on the market, or for that matter, ever made. So HDB Off-Road is local here to Colorado in the Denver area. They use only American materials, and all of their products are American made right here in Denver. I'm also going to be putting on a set of HDB Off-Road 3-inch risers on the KTM here. Now I'm tall, I'm 6'4", and I've got a set of risers on here right now, but it's those little spacers that you put into the factory mounts. And this is the set of the HDB Off-Road 3-inch risers. And these things are, you know, one piece, very well made. You can see all the attention to detail that goes into making these things. So that's going to be a really nice addition as well. Right, first thing we got to do is we got to get rid of these flags, and I'm going to take off the factory risers and put the new risers in, and then we'll get to installing the HDB off-road handguards. Cool? Let's do it. So as I understand it, if you bought your KTM new from the dealer, it should come with some shorter bolts to put your clutch lever and brake lever back on once you take the flags off. Mine did not, so what I'll be doing is just taking off the brackets for the flags and reinstalling them on the bars in order to be able to put those bolts back in my clutch and brake lever. Now, alternatively, another thing you can do, and what I did for my Husqvarna, is I took a roto zip or a Dremel, and I just cut this bracket, the top and bottom out, so that you can mount the bolt back in and you don't have to worry about this whole big plastic piece. That's just something if you want to do that. All right, like I said earlier, HDB Off-Road provides you with the tap you're going to use to run into the end of your handlebars, okay? Now, when you run the tap into the handlebars, you're gonna wanna use some sort of lubricant as you're running it in, okay? Because you got metal on metal. A lot of people will use WD-40 or some other sort of aerosol lubricant. I like to use grease, okay? The reason being is when you use grease, as you run the tap into the bar and you pull it out, it'll take all the metal shavings with it. It keeps it clean, it keeps everything in there from getting bound up and all that other stuff, all right? So what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of grease on the cutting surface of the tap. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get this tap started a little bit. And then once it's kind of caught, I'm just going to turn it in 1 or 2 turns, get some cutting done. All right, then I'm going to back it out. And you can see all the shavings that it's taken out. Okay, kind of clean it up a little bit. Get some of those shavings off. I'm going to put a little more grease on. On the cutting surface of the tool. I'll run it back in there. Kind of clean this out a little bit. It's going in nice and straight. Give her a couple more turns. 1, 2, and back it out again. Still got some good grease on there. I'm just going to run it back in. I think 2 more turns will probably do me just fine. And again, this is the big, huge bolt that's going to be going into the center of your bars, or the end of your bars, pardon me. I'm going to screw it in there. And yep, so the shoulder of the bolt is right to the edge of the handlebar, and that's just about where we want it. Okay, so I'll do the other side real quick, and then we'll get on to the next step. All right, so we've got that all threaded, and you can see that the bolt screws in right up to the shoulder, and that's going to give us plenty of clamping space on our handguard bracket. All right, so now that I've got the ends of my handlebars threaded for the big bolt, the next thing we got to do is we have to trim off the ends of our handguards, okay? So if you are already running handguards on your bike, you may not need to, but for these particular set of handguards, the edge of the hand grip has to be flush with the bar, okay? So make sure you trim off enough, either using a cutting wheel, or in my instance, I think this is just a little rubber end cap on here. I'm gonna try to just get it off with a butcher knife, a nice clean cut off the side, so I don't have to take any material off of the throttle sleeve. All right, well, I've got my the ends chopped off of my grips, and I've got them reinstalled along with my throttle assembly up here. And the next thing I'm going to do is remove my old bar risers and clamps and install the new HDB Off-Road 3-inch one-piece risers. All right, put a little bit of Loctite on here. And I think I'm going to go with the forward hole and the forward hole in the triple clamp, and the kind of the rearward in the riser. Now the nice thing is they did put these little locator ridges on the bottom of the risers so that they locate properly on the triple clamp. A little bit more Loctite here. Get these guys locked in there nice and snug. All right, now that I've got my risers in there, I can go ahead and install this very well-made top clamp for the handguard system. Now you do have to buy this, well, it comes with the handguards, but it is a top clamp designed to use with the handguards. On the side here, you see it's threaded. There's gonna be another piece that bolts to that, which is going to accept the bracket for the handguards. Now these handguards are vehicle specific. They are not, they're not universal fit handguards, okay? They do make a set of universal fit handguards, but these ones are vehicle specific. The good thing about that is that the handguards mount on the inside to this top clamp. What does that do? It frees up the handlebar because now you don't have the universal bracket mounts all over your handlebar, which is, you know, a big problem with these things is that it takes up all of your free space on your handlebar. So that's just a really nice, nice little, you know, perk to these HDB off-road handguards. And I've got to say that everything is machined so well on these parts, man. I mean, he really puts a lot of time and effort into doing it right. And this handguard, I'm sorry, this top clamp, for instance, as well as the handguards, they are so beefy that once you install this and you get it dialed in where you want it, you will never have to worry about this thing, ever. Yep, okay. All right, now that we've got our top clamp mounted up and secured, the next thing is we're gonna put these little adapters here on the side of the top clamp, okay? And this adapter, what it's gonna do is it's gonna properly locate onto the mount here, okay? Or the top clamp, so that your bracket of your handguards can mount to it. Okay, so in order to mount these little guys on the top clamp, you're going to use the supplied bolts that come with it, okay? The longer one is going to go through this one, and then the shorter one here is going to be where your handguard mounts up to, okay? So you're just going to screw it into the threaded portion on the side of the mount here. And you will be breaking out your old SAE set of tools because these are 1/2-inch bolts. Okay, I'm just going to lock that down. Well, actually, I'm not going to lock that down. I'm going to leave it a little bit loose so that this can move a little bit. And then using our big bolt here, we're going to thread it into the handlebar. And then with the other 1/2-inch bolt, there are two slots on this adapter that you can mount to, so whichever one works best for you, right? And just secure that down. And now that I've got that on there, I'm just going to go ahead and tighten the bolt down. And the bolt that's going into the top clamp here. All right. And we're just going to screw this big bad boy into the handlebar. Check that we still have throttle you know, the throttle can still move back and forth. And that is mounted. Now all we have to do is put the handguards on and we will be finished. And now the finish on these handguards, the way it, or I shouldn't say the fit, not the plastic, but the fit between the handguards and the threaded holes on the bracket is so good. I mean, it fits so well in there. Really great engineering on the part of HDB Off-Road. A lot of times when you have machined aluminum products, you know, the threads are kind of sloppy. You got to kind of finagle it quite a bit to get it to fit. This is my second set of these guys, and I'm here to tell you, they are so smooth. I mean, everything just screws in so smoothly and so nicely. These things are really, really nice to work with. You know, almost every time I buy aftermarket stuff from my bike, it's like, that doesn't fit so well, you know? Like, they're kind of forcing it, yeah? But these are just fantastic, man. So, great job, HDB Off-Road. You guys do really, really great work. Okay, so I'll get the other side mounted up and check back in with you in a second. All right, guys, that is it. HDB Off-Road handguards. They are a little bit more work than a universal set to get installed, but boy, are these going to be the last set of handguards you ever need. If you are a rider like myself who has maybe a little bit more bravery than riding skills, and you tend to crash your bike a lot like I do, these things are a must-have, man. Super impressed. So that's about it for the video, guys. If you liked it, please give me a great big thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. I'm just doing my best to try to get these videos out, and I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you guys out on the trail sometime.